Hey, how's it going? Today is 15th of February, Thursday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available out there. Let's start today's day with taking a look at the moon, so to say, right, and or Mars and Venus, and UK taking part in some of perhaps initiatives. Let's try to understand some of the press releases and everything, what's happening within UK's space agency, so to say. And let's try to understand what's happening, right? So hopefully, within this article, there's going to be some interesting projects, and we can take a look at those, right? New funding supports UK's role in global exploration of the moon. New funding, okay, okay. Moon, Mars, and Venus. UK scientists and engineers will play a role in major global missions to the Moon, Mars, and Venus, thanks to new funding from UK Space Agency for work towards international space science and exploration projects. First, before we can take a look at this, let's take a look at funding, right? Something that perhaps I was taking a look at previously, right? We can compare how much money, how much funding was allocated, how much money was used, and if there's anything to show for that money. As of now, I don't think UK have landed, right? I don't think they did. Other governments have did it. Let's take a look at that, some of the data, right? And from there, let's progress in how much funding and how that money is being used as of now. Quickly, right? Let's take a look at how finances was used, right? So we have Soviet Union, uh, intercoms, right? The United States, NASA, China, CNSA, India, and Japan recently have landed, right? Are the only five nations have successfully achieved soft landing. Okay, okay. So this is how finances was allocated within those governments, and this is what there's something to show, right? There's something to show that they did something, right? Just for argument's sake, right? So let's take a look at how much it cost, right? So let's run some of the numbers, right? Let's take a look at India, right? About 74 million. I have taken a look at number of articles. Perhaps I thought it might be different information, but it's still the same information, or very similar in 73, 74, 75, around that area, right? So it's roughly about $74 million, right? So this is how much it costs, right? So once that, by the way, I haven't read that article. Let's take a look. Let's come back to that article and let's see how much more extra funding we're giving, and how what we're doing with that funding. Let's take a look at that. The Space Science and Exploration Bilateral Program will help Royal Holloway developing software for India's space agency. Okay. Chandrayaan 2 orbiter to detect ice under the surface of the lunar south pole. Okay, another project will see the University of Lancaster lead on a Romer spectroscopy instrument for iSpace commercial rover and lander mission, investigating water, ice, and on the moon, helping us to understand where this is a resource that could be used for longer than lunar exploration. Okay. Other projects to receive a share of 7.4 million. Okay, okay, is 10%, right? We're taking a look at 10% potentially. Okay, 10% and of entire cost of what would it cost potentially for UK to land on the moon. Million funding, including the Open University of Sussex, Aberdeen's and Cambridge teaming up with NASA to and our Canadian Space Agency, CSA, and the Japanese Aerospace Explorations. Oh, okay, okay. I was taking a look at that competition. I think they were taking a look at filters, right? And those filters had to pass radiation million things, right? I think I have taken part in some of those competitions, right? So there's something there might be still ongoing thing. So this is and during that competition, something that I was discussing exactly the same points. Why can UK do its own project? I don't know. That would be a sound decision, but either way. The announcement concerns with the global space and technology conservation tackling places in Singapore this week to showcase the rapidly growing sectors in Asia and opportunities in international collaboration. This project, along with UK's delegation and GSTC, highlight how the UK supports in a world-class science and work with the partners around the world as set out in national space strategy. So there's some people there, and there's some strategists, right? Okay, okay. So this at least someone's doing something. The project will have already received a total of 400,000 following an initial funding round. Our demonstrations both UK scientific excellence in critical areas of space science and exploration technologies such as detection and or hardware development and pipeline processing, optics and or spectroscope, and opportunities to work closely with international counterparts, including support for missions candidates making progress in similar areas. The work by Royal Holloway will support ISRO ongoing Chandrayaan program will begin in 2003. Has been making groundbreaking steps developing our undertaking that how many may be able to use lunar resources to deeper explore the moon. In August last year, it's Chandrayaan. I can't pronounce it. I don't think I'm pronouncing properly. A free mission became the first in the world to successfully land on the lunar south pole. Okay, 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 okay. So they're discussing something that's happening. I'm interested in better understanding. Okay, so how much of the finances are we talking about, and how much of those finances is gonna be taking part, and or trying to understand the water right. As of now, as I mentioned previously, UK haven't had their own missions, right? Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a book, How to Breathe Project Fifth Law. In the book, I'm taking a look at body and what will be important. And since we're taking a look at water in today's video and potentially looking for water on the moon, I would say perhaps starting with having this infrastructure when it comes to landing on the moon, right? I would highly recommend for more people to focus on that when it comes to even UK spaces, right? Before starting looking for water, which is important. One of the more important things. And within this book, I'm taking a look at working out, recovery, as well as nutrition, and how much water you should be drinking. It would be 36 milliliters for every kilogram of your body weight. I think I'm discussing that within the book. So roughly, depending on your body weight, this is how much water you should be drinking. Perhaps on the moon one day. If it's something yourself you're interested in, you can find it in QR code in the corner community's website below. Myself, I'm constantly trying to reach out to different initiatives and suggesting my own initiatives. There's no response. There isn't any people who can make decisions based on information that I'm looking for and or asking for. I have reached out to this organization many of times. They would suggest or advise, depending on who I'm talking to, right? I know there is a woman somewhere who can make decisions, and I would be talking with the people, and they would say, only thing we can advise on existing processes and or the process of expressing interest in existing opportunities. None of those opportunities are discussing what I'm discussing within this video. Perhaps existing opportunities would be looking for water. I would say perhaps having their own infrastructure would be important. So that's a quick note. That would be something that's outlined within this article, right? And some of the initiatives, right? As of now, we're taking a look at some of those initiatives, right? Governments, let's come back to those, right? India, US, Japan, Canada, okay, okay. Russia is not there, but Russia have landed, right? And China is not there, but China has landed, so 5 governments, right? This is where we are. And now UK is looking to collaborate with some of those governments, or they have to. They have to because they don't have anything themselves. If they don't have their own, they need to collaborate. Let's take a look at some of the price tags. We're taking a look at, I don't know, perhaps within the next 5 years, can we set things in motion? Within 100 million, can we land it within UK with 100 million? I don't know. There is the people who can do it. But either way. So that's just some of the projects and what they're looking to accomplish, right? Which is great. Let's progress the next article. Thanks for watching. See you next one.